And now, a special edition of the Toddcast podcast.
And not really a special year either. Canada is now 153 years old. Like, we'd made a pretty big deal when it was 150 years old, 2017, but this year, 153. All right, we're getting older. 10 provinces, 3 territories, 9.98 million square kilometers. Girl, you huge. Not to brag, but did you know that Canada is the second largest country on Earth by total area? The 4th largest country by land area. It's crazy, right? A quick history lesson. Aboriginal people saw British and French lay claim to their lands in the start of the 16th century. The colony of Canada was first established by the French in 1535. Over the next 300 years, Great Britain gained and lost territories, as you would expect. By the late 18th century, it's what you know now, today, geographically speaking. The British North America Act was passed on July 1st, 1867, 153 years ago. The colonies of Canada, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia came together to form the Federal Dominion of Canada. Present day, if you're lucky enough to live in Canada, one of the best countries in the world, some say next to Switzerland and Japan. There was a quality of life survey done where they'd looked at stuff like human rights, the environment, gender equality, religious freedom, and we were number 3. Happy Canada Day. I hope you get to spend it with some friends and family. This week, you'll hear from 12 Canadian guests over the last 365 days, and we'll highlight some of those interviews. And please, if you like what you're about to hear, subscribe on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Spotify. And tell your friends as well if they might be interested. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We're always updating, sharing tons of podcasts and website news, cool videos we've shot and created. Word of mouth is a very big way of how we get this podcast out there. We see it daily, so thank you very much. Coming up in just a few minutes in Stop Me If You've Heard This Before, ECCW wrestling star Scotty Mack talks about aliens and the Egyptian pyramids. Some interesting thoughts there. Of course, keeping it a Canadian guest this week. First, let's get into this Canada Day 2020 special edition podcast and highlights from a few of our Canadian musical guests over the last year, all of whom were brought to you by the Railway Stage and Beer Cafe, 579 Dunsmuir, downtown Vancouver. Really hoping we'll get the green light soon to fire up podcast shows there again. Although if I'm being honest with you, I don't expect that anytime soon. Todd Kearns had a big 2019. He toured the world with Slash, was on the Kiss cruise for the Decades at Sea, part of Bruce Kulick's band. Todd received a star on BC's Walk of Fame, made an appearance in the indie film The Whiskey Man and the Rider. He's launched his own clothing line called Damn It Wear Anti-Star Designs. He played a podcast show. He said that being in Slash's band, there's just this constant state of creativity.
I will say that for Slash, it's a lesson to be learned that a guy who really has nothing to prove at all, I mean, he could pretty much just show up, put a top hat on, and everybody will, be happy as, with minimal effort, But he is constantly, pushing himself to grow and create, and so we're always kind of coming up with new stuff, which is a fascinating thing, because Miles has an Alterage record coming out right away, and
right,
and but it never really stopped. It's a fascinating thing to witness. Like I said, back in 2010 when I started doing this, I thought I wasn't sure if we were just going to do like some, we just get together, play some shows, and then we'd all go our separate ways. But then 2012 was Apocalyptic Love, 2014 is World on Fire, and then last year we put out Living the Dream. So it's it kind of keeps flaring up. And I think it's the fun thing about this thing is it's kind of a band, but it's kind of a project. So it's kind of like nobody in this thing wants to do it. We're not doing it, for any other reason other than the fact that we just really enjoy playing together and we really enjoy each other's company. And I think that we're pretty damn good band, if I do say so myself.
You've heard Big Wreck on Canadian rock stations since 1994. Even when they broke up in 2002, they reformed in 2010. Stations still played them. Last year in June, their guitarist Brian Doherty died of cancer. It's a crushing blow for the band. A few months later, they released their album But for the Sun. And around that time, their singer Ian Thornley was a guest, and he shared some of his earliest musical memories involving Supertramp and Bruce Springsteen.
My parents played records constantly. My mom was usually playing Supertramp,
Right.
And my dad was usually playing Bruce Springsteen. So that would, and then there was a ton of Coburn and sort of folkier things of when I was coming up. But yeah, it would have to be those two. Those two stood out.
Nickelback singer Chad Kroeger invited us over to his home studio to record something for the podcast. This is midpoint of 2019. I've known the guys since the mid-90s. In fact, they were my first interview ever. It was back in 1996 for a BCIT radio arts project that I was doing. They've sold over 50 million albums worldwide. And for Dark Horse, I did the world album premiere interviewing Chad in studio at CFOX in Vancouver. His dad was there hanging out as well. Chad is hands down one of the most successful songwriters of our generation. And he talked about how it came to be that he and Devin Townsend got to hanging out.
Oh, he's come out to the house a couple times. How did this go? He commented on the guitar riff of Feed the Machine and said, hey, I really like this new Nickelback riff or something like that. And the crazy thing was, out of the blue, absolutely out of nowhere, the day before he did that, I watched him doing a guitar clinic in a guitar store somewhere. I don't know where it was. And, there's all these shredders sitting around wanting him to arpeggio sweeping and, tapping on all 6 strings at the same time kind of thing. And he didn't really do that. He spoke a lot about his headspace and where he was and the way he used to think and the way he thinks now. And it was far more interesting than watching someone go, watch how fast I can play. Right. And it was endearing. Like, I just immediately had a connection with him, and I was like, I'd really like to get to know this guy. Mm-hmm. The next day, he said something on social media about how he liked that riff, and
there's my invite right there.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, let's. And the funny thing was, and we both laugh about this now. He said, well, I heard you didn't like my band and that you were talking shit back in the day. And I was like, well, that's not true. And I said, I actually heard that you didn't like my band and you were talking shit back in the day. And he's like, well, that's true. He's like, well, yeah, because I thought I wasn't supposed to like Nickelback. I was like everyone else gets this thing. It's like, oh, there's this radio band and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, so I got his phone number from Scott Cook, our engineer, because Scott's worked on tons of Devin's records. And I texted him, just said, hey, this is Chad. I just want to let you know, I think that's really cool, what you said, and on and on and on. And the next text that he sent me it looked like a 10-page email, and he just spilled his guts on all these things in one text. And he was like, I got to let you know, I feel bad for anything I may have said back in the day. And he shouldn't have said it because I didn't hear anything, to be honest with you. But he was so nice and so genuine. And he's such a wonderful human.
He's such a nice guy. He really is.
It must be insanely therapeutic for him to get up on stage and scream and belt the way that he does and get all of that out of him, because there isn't 1 ounce of that anger or aggression that actually lives inside of him. He's the most wonderful human being ever.
You'll know Chantal Kreviazik's music since the mid-90s. Her debut, Under These Rocks and Stones, came out in 96, and she's seen success along the entire timeline. Singles, albums sold, chart placement. To this day, Chantal remains one of the best-selling Canadian artists in Canada. And when she was a guest, we talked about aliens visiting Earth, and what she had to say is a massive rabbit hole.
Lately, I believe this is a simulation. From everything I read, I've kind of my brain is like flipped on its end. But this is a simulation. So if it's a simulation, that means anything's possible because someone's just like writing the story. So it's like
interesting.
I don't know.
I've lately been thinking that as well. Because I started,
I think a lot of people are thinking it. We're
really
just figuring it out.
Yeah. And a lot of people think you're completely crazy when you bring that up.
It's like the other thing about the simulation is that notice how that word creator has become such a big part of culture. Like, so we always had the creator in religion, right? We had a God. Right. And now we have creators who make all the various apps and softwares. They're called creators. And we're creative beings. But I don't know, I kind of think that my head is kind of saying, what's the difference if it was a God or it was a creator of a simulation? And the creator could be somebody who is a 5th grade student somewhere and was doing an experiment and what feels like a billion years for us is really 15 minutes from her presentation right now. I mean, who knows? But at the end of it all, when my head starts to explode, I just think to myself, you know what? It doesn't really matter.
Right.
All we haven't got that kind of control. All we have is control over here and now. And I really believe no matter what your philosophy, your religion, your outlook is, the healthiest you, the best you, is in the moment, is in the present moment in time, and isn't doing forward thinking, and isn't living in the past, and isn't trying to control things that are out of your control. So if it's a simulation and it's a 5th grader, I hope she does well in her report. And
she's absolutely crushing it.
Music, sports, entertainment, lifestyle. You're listening to the Toddcast Podcast.
There was nothing you could do or say. Just about the time you said that it was over and he walked away. This time will be the last time that you're ever gonna hear him say, I'm sorry, I could do better, cause it sounds all the same. And you'll do better with me. You're not the flavor of the week, but you'll never know.
And now, stop me if you've heard this before on the Toddcast podcast.
If you're a fan of wrestling, of the sport, you'll likely know ECCW, Elite Canadian Championship Wrestling. They promoted their first show back in May of 1996, almost 25 years ago. Now they're Canada's largest wrestling promotion. Watch the documentary This Wrestling Life, and you'll get up to speed about ECCW. And when their owner and all-around badass, Scotty Mack, who is one of their most decorated wrestlers, he was a guest, we talked about binge-watching Lunatics, how he once auditioned to be on Big Brother Canada. He talked about seeing No Doubt and Weezer together as his first concert. He shared his thoughts on legalized marijuana and told a story about being in a tag team wrestling match with Brutus the Barber Beefcake taking on the WWE's Singh Brothers. He talked about BoJack Horseman, microdosing, Hulk Hogan, and stop me if you've heard this before, Scotty Mack talked about aliens visiting Earth and who built the Egyptian pyramids.
I think that it's hard to believe that in the universe as big as this is, that there isn't something else that we can call life out there.
Gotta be something.
Yeah. But whether they're like, got some big oval head and giant eyes and are green from, like...
Right, maybe they look like us.
Yeah, or maybe they're like some big mass, like what was the Invasion of the Body Snatchers or something, was like a big blob, or like maybe it's some...
Maybe it's just a vapor.
Yeah,
or
maybe it's a...
whatever.
Like,
it doesn't have to be human form.
Exactly. And so they're like... And maybe it's so sophisticated that it's dealing with things that we couldn't even comprehend.
Right.
Right. I don't...
Probably bang on.
Yeah, but like... And then you never know, like when there's those shows like about the pyramids and stuff where like they've like measured it and like everything is like
to exact degrees and
like where like lasers like exact degrees where it just they had nothing at that time that could have measured things and made things to that accuracy. That makes you think, okay,
let alone the weight of each stone.
Yeah.
To build and
So what was happening at that point that allowed them to do these things? So there's got to be things that are happening or were happening that we'll never know about.
Right. Subscribe on iTunes at Toddcast Podcast.
Find me now, all alone. You're the one who wanted out. We played our role, we played our parts, and that's the sound of a breaking heart.
That band is Dead Quiet, and that's a new song for them called The Sign of a Sealed Fate. You'll find that one on their forthcoming album called Truth and Ruin. They're putting it out in September. I've heard it as if they are not one of the best bands, any genre, in not only Vancouver, Western Canada, I'm going to say it, one of the best Canadian rock bands present day. Killer band, a great group of guys as well. Excited to see them release this new album. I played you a new song for Best Night Ever, speaking of best bands in the city. Their song was called Better. Love that band. Do yourself a favor, dig into Best Night Ever's back catalog. Coming up in just a few minutes, in about 10 minutes, in Listen to This, Our Lady Peace singer Rain Maida shares some career highlights involving the Ramones and Robert Plant. That is powered by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley. Service, repair, ICBC accredited, check. You can find them online at TedcoRVSuppliesInc.com. First, let's get back to this Canada Day 2020 special edition podcast. Say that 5 times fast. And some highlights from some of our sporting guests over the last 365 days. Rally UHC cycling pro racer Sarah Bergen is from Vancouver, one of Canada's best racers. She rode in the women's road race at the 2016 UCI Road World Championships. She's had a couple top 15 finishes. She finished second at the 2016 Delta Road Race. And when Sarah was a guest, she shared a near-death experience story about downhill racing.
The cycling one, like, during the time I was actually very calm, but in hindsight, I'm like, wow, things could have gone sideways real quick. So I was doing a time trial, which for those of you who don't know, it's like an individual effort against the clock. And it's kind of the epitome of the derpy cyclist. So you have like the long pointy helmet, you're kind of doing the super tuck on your bike, and you're just like hammering, you're racing across the clock. Okay. And the effort I was doing was out in New Mexico, and it was an out and back. So you go out, you literally turn around a cone, and you come back. And it takes about 40 minutes. And the way back is like a screaming, like a 6-kilometer downhill highway grade. So think of like descending Cypress. Like Cypress is about 10K, so like 3/4 that. At that grade, you can get going real fast, like really bloody fast. So you're probably going like 80 plus kilometers an hour.
Easy,
yeah. And you're on your talks. You're going, and it's at the end of this really, really long effort. So you're pretty much, well, I was like seeing stars pretty much. You're like, okay, I have 6K to go. I'm pedaling full out down this hill. You're trying to like keep your head down because you're trying to stay like as aerodynamic as possible. Yeah. And okay, so I hit a giant cone.
Oh, this is
like
awesome.
A giant human-sized cone. Like think, you know those construction cones that are kind of like a barrel that people could like sit in? I hit one of those going like 85K an hour, and like it's like situationally the comedy is like not lost. Like I like fucked myself up pretty good, but I'm okay and I recovered from it. But in my sport, like I have a follow car, so my mechanic and my boss are in this follow car, like following me down this hill, like last like 2K of the race. And they're like, they see me like clip the side of it, and they're like, holy shit. Like, literally hit the ground and bounced so high, they said. They're like, yeah, you like could have landed like on the hood of the car. So I hit the ground, like, I like roll, I kind of get up, and I'm just kind of like my manager runs out, and he's kind of like looking at me, and I've like pretty much torn off like it's a situation. Like everything where there was skin is now not so much skin. Like half my of my shorts are gone, like blood everywhere, and I'm like, Zach, like this is my manager, and he's like, yeah, and I'm like, I need my spare bike, man, and he's like, what?
You
I was
are
like,
in
dude,
shock at this point.
I'm like 2 kilometers from the finish of this. I'm like, I don't think I'm that fucked up. I'm like, I can get on this bike and I can roll down the hill. I was having a really good go until then, and I can finish this race. And that was like all it was in my mind. And I was pretty pissed off because I just rode into a cone. So I'm like, I'm going to finish this race. So yeah, like hitting the deck at like 80 km an hour. Like in hindsight, like I could have hit the deck straight on my head,
Totally.
and that would have. But like, I don't know, like knock on wood. Like when I was a child, I did a lot of gymnastics and like running around and jumping and falling. So I just rolled and I broke my collarbone, like real good.
Denver Broncos defensive tackle Christian Covington was born in Vancouver. Football's always been in his life. His dad, Grover Covington, had an incredible career in the CFL, is a member of the Canadian Football Hall of Fame. No surprise, Christian was a beast in high school. He was the same at the collegiate level. He was drafted by the Houston Texans in 2015, 6th round, 216th overall. Played for them for 4 years. Then he signed with the Dallas Cowboys, was with them for about a year, then was traded to the Broncos, where he remains to this day. Impressive stuff from a local athlete. Check out Christian talking about playing Monday Night Football and sacking the legendary Tom Brady.
I think 2 years ago, I sacked Tom Brady. That might have been another big one.
Yeah. What's that like when you're taking a guy like that down?
Well, I mean, it's surreal just because like I literally grew up watching him. Like that's the one aspect of it, and then like that's another crazy aspect. It's like, man, how long has his brother been playing in this league?
No shit.
Like, I was literally a kid watching you play. Now I'm playing against you. Like, this is insane.
Just a warrior.
Yeah, he is. He's like the epitome of a warrior on that field. Much respect to it. I mean, shoot, I think he's earned the title of the GOAT.
Yeah.
So I think he's the greatest of all time. So that goes without saying.
Canadian Olympic snowboarder Mercedes Nichols started tearing up the world scene when she debuted at the World Cup in December 1999 in Whistler. She was competing in the half pipe and the snowboard cross. In 2002, a few years later, you saw her win bronze at the World Cup. In total, she won 8 World Cup medals, is a 5-time Canadian national champion. She competed at the 2006, 2010, 2014 Winter Olympics. In 2018, she was named to Canada's Olympic team for the 4th time. Present day, she recently started up a podcast called Droppin' In, which you should check out, and she's helping out with Youth Olympics as well.
My goal is to have it ready for March.
Oh, rad. Oh, soon.
I know it's been a while, but I've been working a real job.
Yeah.
And got to put some time aside to it. I'm also heading to Switzerland in January to work with Team Canada at the Youth Olympics.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm going to be on the other side of the game.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'll be working with the sliders, so that's bobsled, skeleton, and luge.
Like the Toddcast, full press NHL editor and the Sesh podcast host, Chris Mancuso is part of the Dean Blundell Network. Mancuso is a firecracker. Lively and energetic, you need to follow him on social media for his videos alone. What a beauty. And when Chris was a guest, he said that before COVID-19, he thought that the Toronto Raptors had a chance to repeat as champs.
I think the Raptors absolutely could have come out of the Eastern Conference. I don't know if the Milwaukee Bucks have the toughness to get through them in the playoffs when you're talking guys like Ibaka and Gasol defending and all the other pieces that they have. And what a great coach in Nick Nurse. I'm not like the biggest NBA guy, but I'm aware enough of all sports. And what a difference since, when I liked what was his name, Dwayne Casey. I thought he was a good enough coach, but just the difference that Nick Nurse has seemed to have made, and I think that year of Kawhi Leonard really rubbed off on a lot of the young guys, and they seem to still have that battle mode mentality like he had all the time. So yeah, I think they could have at least went and played a team like the Lakers or somebody in the finals 100%.
The Toddcast Podcast at facebook.com/Toddcast Podcast.
Cold eyes cross me, I move along, they're watching. Words fall under breath. Tongue-tied stories and foolish claims of glory. Now long they forget. And I don't think they got me wrong. Ain't no pride in what I've done. Take my needs and lock them up. Then a thief I become. Make me walk on my own. Stand aside for anyone. And I don't think they got me wrong. Simple pleasures, never seem to find the need to linger. I live hard with no regret. They try to hold me, belittle my faith, control me, disturb my chainless man. I don't think they got me wrong. Ain't no pride in what I've done. Take my needs and lock them up. Then a thief I become. Make me walk on my own. Stand aside for anyone. And I don't think they got me wrong. The things they hate are all the things that made me. Yet I stand today while all the rest are faded. And they live to toe the line. Empty game, but those will fly. And I journey through the dust as they're left shaking. I don't think they got me wrong. I don't think they got me wrong. I don't think they got me wrong. No, I don't. No, I don't think they got me wrong. Ain't no pride in what I've done. Take my needs and lock them up. Then a thief I become. Make me walk on my own. Won't stand aside for anyone. I don't think they got me wrong. No, I don't think they got me wrong. No, I don't think they got me wrong.
And now, listen to this on the Toddcast Podcast.
If you've listened to any Canadian rock radio station since 1994, you've likely heard Our Lady Peace from time to time. When Much Music started playing their video for Hope, the rest of the world took notice. Then it was Super Satellite, then Starseed, and just like that, Our Lady Peace became a household name. They've sold millions worldwide. They've won 4 Juno Awards, 10 Much Music Video Awards. You could argue that they're one of the most successful Canadian rock bands of the 90s and 2000s. And when their singer, Rain Maida, called up to be a guest, we talked about the Raptors' NBA championship win. He's a big fan. How his band played Woodstock 99, aliens and UFOs came up. We talked about binging Chernobyl and The Punisher. Legalized marijuana came up. We talked about Pearl Jam, Springsteen, Elvis, U2. He gave his opinion on the Motley Crue movie and the fact that Faith No More and Mike Patton have directly influenced him. And Rain shared a couple career highlights involving the Ramones and Led Zeppelin's Robert Plant. Listen to this.
I mean, opening for the Ramones in Jersey was pretty high up there.
Wow.
Yeah, back like on the beat, like in whatever 95.
It was awesome. You know, I just actually had CJ Ramon as a guest maybe a couple of weeks back.
Did you really?
I did.
So
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, just being able to kind of, I don't know, just be amongst that. You know, I it's like one of those moments. And then Robert Plant asking me about like the lyrics for Naveed, like just saying, "Hey man, we were on tour with him," and he just came up to me and said, "I just want to let you know how much I really appreciate, you know, the lyrics on that album, and I'd love to sit down and talk to you about them one day." I was like, okay, did that really just happen, man, or is that like an imposter?
Listen to this on the Toddcast podcast is brought to you by Tedco RV Supplies in Langley, an ICBC approved repair shop. Find them online at TedcoRVSuppliesInc.com. The Toddcast podcast is powered by Milano Coffee, bringing you the finest espresso and coffee concepts in the world. Online at milanocoffee.ca.
Where'd you go? Where did you go? I threw myself at you.
That band is Bobby's Kane, and a new song for those guys called Workin' Hard. They've played a show or two for the podcast. Good live band. Hopefully we'll be able to get them playing something and maybe another show in the near future when things go back to normal, air quotes. Played you a new song for The Selfish Herd. It's called Got Me Wrong, originally from Vancouver, although their singer now lives in Toronto, but we'll still own them. A really good band. All right, let's get to our final guests of episode 224, Canada Day 2020 Special Edition podcast. Highlights from a handful of our entertainment guests over the last year. As mentioned earlier on in the podcast, we, the Toddcast, are part of the Dean Blundell Podcast Network. I've known Dean since maybe 2003, 4-ish. We met in Dublin, Ireland. Both of our radio shows were flown there to do our shows for a few days at the Jameson Whiskey Distillery. Tell me that wasn't insane. At the time, he was doing mornings. He was the morning guy for the Edge 102 in Toronto. I think there was close to 80 radio stations flown in. Certainly a highlight from my time as a on-air personality. Like me, Dean has made the transition from longtime on-air radio host to a podcaster and content creator. And we talked about that transition.
Incredible. It took me a while because I was a little mentally beat up. Part of that whole thing was a tail slide for me, just mentally, where I wasn't aware of my confidence. I didn't know where I was. Because I'm sure you felt like this, or maybe you didn't. Maybe you're smarter and better and more well put together than me. Very good chance that's true. But I suffered from PTSD. I didn't know I had that going on for a good year and a half. I had depression, first episode, severe depression and anxiety disorder. I was diagnosed with that. Didn't know I had that going on for about a year and a half, even when I was at the fan. And so you kind of trudge through it. The way I dealt with it was drinking, and so, as we all know, that's not a way to deal with things. As great a medicine as that is, it's just, it stops working when you use it too much. It's not medicine, it's fucking poison. So, I had to get help. I had to go and figure out what was wrong with me. I had to quit drinking. I had to go see a psychiatrist. I had to hunt down the help for my mental wellness. And that put me in a position to be able to do DeanBlundell.com and, bring like-minded people together, people like yourself and your podcast, the Toddcast Podcast, which is fucking awesome, by the way.
Thank you.
And it showed me, I think really that, anybody is capable of anything, and that, where you are in your head, if you can fix it, if you can really look for solutions as to what's wrong and where you're at and how do you fix yourself. And that came with a bunch of fun stuff too. It came with cannabis therapy, which I'm happy to say we're now in the business of at DeanBlundell.com. So, it's been terrific. I wouldn't have it any other way. Plus, no one has to, radio has that ability. No one has to tell me that I'm a terrible human being, every time I go on the radio. You know what I mean?
Radio host Danae Johnson recently started up a new podcast you should check out as well. It's called the Hello Well Podcast. You can catch her on Virgin Radio as well if you're ever in the Okanagan in Kelowna. She was a longtime Vancouver DJ, but decided to move back to the Okanagan to be a bit closer to family, and really you can't blame her for that. And if you're thinking of getting into radio as a career, she shared some advice that you'd want to listen to.
Oh, damn, really?
All right.
I don't know if I want to give that advice. I mean, what advice would I give? I would say, if it's something that you really love and that you're really passionate about, absolutely. Pursue whatever it is that you're truly passionate about, what you truly feel you're meant to be doing with your time on this planet.
Yes.
I would use it as a way of, getting experience, making connections, and at the same time, I think I would also be working on some sort of online component, whether it is a podcast or a YouTube channel, because that's the reality of where a huge, huge portion of the world is now, and how people are taking in media is through podcasting. So I think you can do both, and both of them are going to get you a different audience. So just, do both of them and get all the people listening and watching.
Oh, and also have a thick skin.
Yeah, Yeah.
Indie Week Toronto founder Daryl Hers has been doing event production for over 20 years. It's probably closer to 25. If you checked out Earth Hour, do you remember that? Well, that was his handiwork. 5 time zones in over 140 venues with over, I think it was like 140, 150 bands. He created and launched Indie Week Toronto. He's part of RIFF, Real Indie Film Fest. He has a hand in the IBF, which is the Indie Beer Fest. Nice one. He's an owner of Indie 101, which is music, tech, and film. Oh, and he's the director of marketing development Canada for CD Baby. No rest for the wicked. And when Daryl was a guest, he talked about seeing Foo Fighters' first concert in Canada.
I saw the first ever Foo Fighters show in Canada.
Wow.
It was in Vancouver.
Where was that?
Was it Ballroom?
The Commodore Ballroom, yeah.
Commodore, yeah. And it was with Hovercraft, which was Eddie
Vedder's wife. And Eddie sometimes played in the band. Was he playing in that show?
Well, everybody was anticipating, but he didn't show up. And they were all opening for Mike Watt.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, what a show.
Saw that. And then, real funny, like with Foo Fighters, when I moved to Toronto, I actually won a concert package with them. Like I won a drum kit and all this stuff, so I got to see them in Toronto. But then they did a club show at the Horseshoe, and I was teaching down the street from it. And I literally kind of finished teaching, and it's around 5 o'clock, 4:30, and I was like, I bet they're sound checking right now. And I know security doesn't start until 7 p.m. So I literally walked into Horseshoe, went straight to the back, and sat down and watched Foo Fighters sound check, and no one else was in the room. And it was the first show in Canada with Chris Shiflett on guitar. Like they were doing these club shows just to try to break them in.
Right.
And so I got to watch, and it's funny. They'd start a song, and then Dave Grohl would go, stop, stop, stop. And he'd go over to Chris and goes, no, it goes like this. And he'd play him the part. And then they'd start another song. He goes, no, stop, stop. And he'd go over to Chris's guitar pedals and dial them around a bit. And he goes, no, it's got to sound like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Right? Like, how cool is that? And you'll know actor Ryan Robbins from most recently playing Fred Andrews in Riverdale, but you've seen him in a lot of stuff. Stargate Atlantis, Sanctuary, Battlestar Galactica, Pure, X-Files, Van Helsing, Arrow. He's from BC, born in Victoria, good Canadian kid, lives up in Squamish. We've known each other for a while, I think the early 2000s. And when Ryan was a guest, we talked about comic books. Here, specifically The Watchmen and the magic that is Alan Moore's writing.
Look, that won real mature literary awards. Like it won the bigs, like a novel. So a funny story, I was shooting this movie that I don't think anybody saw called Passengers, not the recent one, it was an older one with Anne Hathaway and Patrick Wilson and Diane Wiest and David Morse. It was an incredible cast. And I was shooting this movie, and I knew they were looking at doing the new Watchmen movie, and this was back when like Keanu Reeves was attached to be Dr. Manhattan and stuff. And all of a sudden, Patrick Wilson shows up on set. He's got the Watchmen graphic novel. I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing with that? And he's like, oh man, he pulled me aside and he sort of told me they were looking at him for Night Owl. And I was like, I know everything about this book. I know everything. And so we talked and talked and talked. Then they start shooting it, and I had got to know Zack Snyder a little bit. I was going to be in the thing. It was a whole crazy. I get this call to go to the table read because Billy couldn't make it. So would you come in and just fill in and be Dr. Manhattan, and play the role with the entire cast and all the producers and Zack? And I thought, well, this is my chance. And it was amazing. And I looked across the table, and Jackie Earle Haley, full character as Rorschach at the table read, and I was like, oh, this guy is perfect. It was so cool, man. Like, just to see like Patrick get that call at the very beginning, and then I don't know if he had something to do with me being at the table read. And then I got cast in it, and then I had a scheduling conflict and couldn't do it. And I was like,
oh. Oh, man.
The Toddcast Podcast. Follow on Instagram and Twitter at Toddcast Podcast.
Is there only this moment? 'Cause I can't breathe. Lord, help me find the words to speak. I feel there's a bad omen that cuts so deep. Why do I hide the pain that's killing me? Who'll bring the shovel? Who'll bring the priest to help bury our troubles away with our beliefs? Will they stay for the ceremony or break us from this prison? Oh my, our hearts bleed. So I send this transmission with blinded faith. I hope my words are not in vain. Now I lead the procession to watch the rain flood the world of all our mistakes. Who'll bring the shovel? Who'll bring the priest to help bury our troubles away with our beliefs? Will they stay for the ceremony or break us from this prison? Oh my, our hearts bleed. Oh my, our hearts, they bleed. Crying, I don't know how to shake this disease. I'm praying down on my knees, but I don't believe. Oh my, our hearts, they bleed. Who'll bring the shovel? Who'll bring the priest to help bury our troubles away with our beliefs? Will they stay for the ceremony or break us from this prison? Oh my, our hearts bleed. Oh my, our hearts, they bleed. Oh my, our hearts bleed. Oh my, our hearts, they bleed.
They are Wild Dove, and a new song for them called All Hearts Bleed. And if you're saying to yourself, why do I recognize that voice? It's because it's Devin from Echo, Nebraska. That's his new project. We had them scheduled to play a podcast show, but COVID-19 had other plans. And once we get the green light to reschedule shows, expect Wild Dove to be one of the first bands that we'll put on. And I think that's going to do it for this episode 224, this Canada Day 2020 special edition podcast. And thanks to all of our guests. We had 12 this week, pulling from their interviews to create this week's podcast. And I really hope you liked it. My name is Todd Hancock. Thank you so much for listening. Please tell your friends about what we're doing. You can subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, through toddhancock.ca, through deanblundell.com, through the Blundell Podcast Network. Comment and rate the podcast. All of that stuff helps out. Search it out with a simple search of Toddcast Podcast. Huge thanks to all of our sponsors. You can find links to all sponsor websites on toddhancock.ca. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast, right now you can for as little as $10 a day. There's contact info at the homepage. And because of COVID-19, there are actually sponsorship opportunities right now. This is literally the last few months. This is the first time in about 3 years that we've had any opportunities. Maybe we'll talk and have a coffee/beer soon. Till next time, don't be an asshole. Nobody wants to be around that. Have fun, play hard, and most of all, believe in yourself.
The Toddcast Podcast. Keep in touch with Todd through Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and bookmark toddhancock.ca.
The Tudors were probably the most scandalous dynasty in British history. This season on Vulgar History, we're spilling the tea on this messy, messed up family and the people who had to live through it all. Anne Boleyn and the other wives of Henry VIII are known today from the musical Six, but who were they really? Did any of them actually want to marry him, Henry VIII, the man who was literally the worst? How did two of them manage to escape with their heads intact? We'll also get into historical mysteries, like who really wrote Shakespeare's plays, who was the real Bloody Mary, and what was happening elsewhere in the world while the Tudors were trampling all over England, like the mysterious disappearance of the Roanoke colony and the true story of the girl known as Pocahontas. I'll be joined by Tudor historians, experts, and a few of my friends who really hate Henry VIII to learn all about the Tudors this season on Vulgar History. Because it's Henry VIII all day, every day. Listen to Vulgar History wherever you get podcasts.
Now, before you go hunting for something else to listen to, let me make it easy. I'm Mike Carruthers, host of a podcast called Something You Should Know, and I speak with experts about fascinating things that affect your life, from human behavior, relationships, health, science, and everyday mysteries. We've been downloaded millions of times because every episode teaches you something you'll be talking about later. Open up Something You Should Know and give it one episode. You might just find your new favorite podcast.
Do you ever watch a TV show set in a historical time period and think, how accurate is this really? But also, does it matter if it's accurate or not?
Nefertiti is a new podcast about shows set in ancient times. This season, we're recapping every episode of the show Spartacus, Blood and Sand.
I'm Ann Foster, and I have never seen this show before.
And I'm Gina Berry, and I have watched this show maybe too many times.
Join us every other Monday on the Nefertiti podcast as we discuss the real history behind Spartacus, Blood, and Sand.
Follow Nefertiti, that's Nefer TV, wherever you get your podcasts.